Alright, so let's start with the chapter number 5 of class 8th Geography. So it says the secondary activities of manufacturing changes the raw material into products of more value to people. As you have seen, pulp was changed into the paper and paper into notebook. So this is a kind of changing. You are changing the raw material to a more valued product for the people. Yeah. So let's define what is an industry. Industry refers to an economic activity. Okay. That is concerned with the production of the goods and extraction of minerals or provision of services. Alright? So, condition number 1 for anything, any activity to called industry is first it should be of economic activity. And it is concerned with the production of goods, extraction of minerals or provision of services. Thus, we have iron and steel industry, coal mining industry and tourism industry. Let's classify the industry. Industries can be classified on the basis of raw material, size and ownership, right? Let's see quickly. See, on the basis of raw material, it can be agro-based industries such as, food processing, vegetable oil content, textile, dairy products, leather industry, are examples of agro-based industry. The mineral-based industries are, the mineral ore, iron and ore industry, then heavy machinery, building material, railway coaches, marine-based industry, seafood, manufacturing, fish oil, etc. Forest-based industry, the pharmaceuticals, the furniture, the pulp and paper. So these was on the basis of on the raw materials. If we turn to size, small and large, small scale industries such as basket weaving, pottery, handicraft, cottage industry, less manpower, less capital. On the other hand, the large scale industry require more manpower, more capital. Like weaving, food processing, etc. On the basis of ownership, we can divide industries like private sector industries, public sector industries, then mixed joint sector industries, then cooperative sector industry. For example, joint sector industries are like Maruti Udyog. Cooperative sectors like Anand Milk Union Limited and Sudha Dairy are success stories of cooperatives. Now, it's a very important topic, the factors affecting the location of industry. Right? Now, the factors affecting the location of industry are the availability of raw material, land, water, labor, power, capital, transport, and market. Market is a very important factor. Raw material is second most. Raw material and market, these are the most important factors. Labor is quite available everywhere. Water is another important factor. Land is another important factor. A flat land is preferred by the industries. And definitely, climate is also a very important factor. We'll be seeing this. Okay. Sometimes the government provide incentives like subsidized power, transport, other industries, so that industries may be located in the backward area, as we saw in the second year plan, 5-year plan, or the third 5-year plan, right? Because the industrialization of it leads to the development and the growth of the towns and the cities. Okay, if you see the industrial system, the system consists of inputs, processes, and output. The inputs are the raw material, labors, and costs of land. The input system consists of inputs, processes, and outputs. The inputs are the raw material, labor, and the costs of land, transport, power, and other infrastructure. The processes include a wide range of activities that convert the raw material into finished products, and the outputs are the end products and the income earned from it. In case of textile industry, the inputs may be cotton, human labor, factory, and transport costs. The processes including ginning, spinning, weaving, dyeing, and printing, and the output is the shirt you wear. The industrial regions emerge when a number of industries locate close to each other and share the benefits of their closeness. The major industrial regions of the world are the Eastern North America, Western and Central Europe, Eastern Europe, and Eastern Asia. Okay, these are the major industrial regions. Again, Eastern North America, okay, you can see here, Western and Central Europe, right? Not the Eastern Europe. Western and Central Europe, Eastern Asia, particularly China, Japan, Korea, parts of Philippines. So these are the major industrial regions. And if you see, they tend to be located in the temperate areas, near seaport and especially near the coal fields. Because coal is an important source of power. Seaport, leads to import and export both of raw material and the finished product. And temperate area ensures there is not much rainfall, so there is continuous availability of the there need not to be vacations or holidays much for the laborers. And temperate areas also tends to be more flat, right? Now, India has several industrial regions like Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Tamil Nadu, Hooghly region, Ahmedabad, Baroda, Chota Nagpur industrial belt, Visakhapatnam, Guntur belt, Gurgaon, Delhi, Meerut region, and Kollam, Trivandrum industrial sector. Some of the industrial disasters are, for example, 3rd December 1984 industrial disaster in which highly poisonous methyl isocyanate gas with hydrogen cyanide and the reaction gases produced leaked led to 3,600 people died in 1984. You can remember the date with the death of Indira Gandhi in 1984, right? 3rd December 1984, yeah. Secondly, was the Gao Kya, Chongqing, China. 243 people died because a gas had escaped. 64,000 people had to be evacuated. Okay. Now, what are some of the risk reduction measures in as far as industrial area is concerned? Densely populated residential areas should be separated far away from the industrial areas. People staying in the vicinity of industries should be aware of storage of toxins or hazardous substances and their possible effects in case if an accident occurs. Fire warning and fighting system should be improved. Storage capacity of toxic substance should be limited. Population dispersion qualities in the industry should be improved. Pollution dispersion qualities in the industry should be improved. Now we'll see distribution of the major industries. We will be covering 3 industries: the iron and steel, textile, and IT industries. Okay, important terminology. The emerging industries are also known as the sunrise industries. These include the IT, wellness, and hospitality, and the knowledge. The world's major industries are the iron and steel industry, the textile industry, and information technology industry. The iron and steel and the textile industry are the older industries, while the information technology is an emerging industry. The countries in which the iron and steel industry is located are Germany, USA, China, Japan, and Russia. Textile industry. The countries in which iron and steel industry is located are Germany, USA, China, Japan, and Russia. Textile industry is concentrated in India, Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. And the major hubs of information technology industry are the Silicon Valley of the Central California and the Bangalore region of India. Let's start with the iron and steel industry. See, iron and steel industry is the feeder industry. It feeds everything imaginable, right from your mobile to earphones to needle to your utensils to tractors to your plow, aeroplanes, vehicles, anything imaginable has a link to iron and steel industry. So it is a basic and it is a feeder industry. Secondly, if we see the inputs are iron ore, coal, limestone, along with the labor capital site and other infrastructure. So these are the basic raw materials: iron ore, coal, and limestone. Now, the process of converting the iron ore steel involves many stages. The raw material nowadays is put into a blast furnace. Earlier it was put into Bessemer converter, and before that it was because if you see the iron ore industry, we have been using the iron ore since 2000 years, right? So before that the techniques used were like the charcoal, right? Yeah, the raw material is put into blast furnace where it goes smelting. What is smelting? Smelting is the process in which the metals are extracted from their ores by heating beyond the melting point, right? Okay, so here you can see 8 tons of coal plus 4 tons of iron ore plus 1 ton of limestone gives 1 ton of steel. So that is what is the ratio. Coal is 8, 4 is iron, and 1 is your limestone. Okay, steel is tough and it can be easily shaped. So these are some of the properties how we put alloys of steel can be added by small amount of other metals such as aluminum, nickel, and copper. Alloys give steel unusual hardness, toughness, or ability to resist rust. Yes, it is the backbone of industry, uh, right? So, now very importantly, we'll see how the iron and steel industry, how the location has got changed from time to time. Now, if we see the Weber locational triangle. It says that there is a triangle of the location of the iron and steel industry, and the sites are market, raw material 1 and raw material 2. You see, either the raw material may be localized or ubiquitous. If it is ubiquitous, then that industry may not be near that ubiquitous raw material, for example, air or water, right? If it is a raw material which is localized, for example, a coal, then somewhere and that raw material is weight losing, then definitely the for example, sugar cane, it's a weight losing raw material. So all the industries are located near the sugarcane fields. Coal is not a weight losing raw material, and hence coal is coal is away, not very close to the raw material of coal. It is near to the market of iron and steel, right? So these are the three factors. Now let's see one by one the changing location of steel industry, because with change in technology, the iron and steel industry has been changing its location, because we have been using, as I've already told, the iron since 2000 years. And if you see, the technology has been changing. As I already told you earlier, we needed charcoal for the heat, so that the in smelting process that dirt can be removed and raw iron, pig iron, can be produced, right? So always near the forest, that is before 1800 AD, the iron and steel industry was located near the forest. Now later, if you see near the forest, lots of wood, and moreover, Bessemer converter was found in 1855, and hence Bessemer converter was like lots of wind was required so that the impurities can be burnt, oxidated. So in areas which had wind velocities, that was chosen. So charcoal and wind velocity, the best area are the valleys, because in the valleys you also have the forest, you also have a wind velocity which is very fast, because it's a valley, it's not a mountain which will block the wind, and moreover there is water available, right? With the industrial revolution, the coal emerges as in the important source of energy, and with invention of blast furnace, the coal emerges as during industrial revolution, coal emerges as the important source of energy, and the ratio of the coal and the iron ore, as we saw, 8 tons of coal and we saw it 4 tons of iron ore, 1 ton of limestone. So the importance of coal was very high, and hence most of the industries started to shift later, after 1800, from the valleys to near the coal mines. And hence, if we see how this change occurs, earlier the as you can see in the picture, the best location before 1800 is near the valleys. Later, this location is changes to the coal area, as I have already talked. For example, from the mountains, some important coal deposits are near the the industries in UK shifted to the coal areas of United Kingdom. Coal mines shifting to Appalachian Mountains in America, right? For example, the Jamshedpur steel plant, the Mayurbhanj iron, all were near. For example, the Bokaro steel plant, it is near to the Karanpura coal block, very near to the Karanpura coal block, and Damodar river is very nearby. So this is how the shift take place from the valley sites full with woods supplying charcoal to the areas near the coal because of the coming of the new technology of the blast furnace. Later, we see how the role of the coal decreases because with the development of hydropower and electric arc furnaces, the ratio of the coal and iron ore changes to 1:2. Earlier it was 8:1, and industries in this phase as a result went towards the iron ore mines so as to decrease the transportation cost, right? This also indicates the decrease in the usage of the coal, as we see. So, for example, in South America, the provinces of Minas Gerais, right? In North China, the Manchurian region, the Ashan steel industry near the iron ore mine, right? If you see, the much coal is in eastern India because of the large amount of iron ore mine was seen, right? So, later we see that from the iron ore mines and with the coming of hydropower, we also see that lots of industries also shift towards the western India. For example, the Bhadravati steel plant, it is near to the hydropower station, right? And the Bhadravati steel plant, we'll also see it is the Bhadravati steel in Karnataka, right? It is towards the western part, right? Because of hydropower. So with new technology and with the change of the power, we also see that iron and steel industry changes its location. And with the coming of better ships, we see that iron ore, these industry, iron and steel industry finally changes its location near to the seaports. See, it is written here. So this is because by this time the steel works had become very large and iron ore had to be imported from overseas, right? So first we saw from the valleys because of charcoal, moving towards near the coal mines because of the blast furnace change in technology. Again, with the coming of hydroelectric energy and new technology, the role of the coal was reduced, and hence the industry started shifting towards the iron ore mines. And from iron ore mines, with the new technology and the development in hydroelectric energy, Some industry also shifted towards the hydroelectric power plants as seen from east to West India, for example, the Bhadravati steel plant. And finally, the steel nowadays, the iron and steel industry, you can mainly find it near the port areas. For example, in Japan, or for example, the Vishakhapatnam iron and steel industry, where India, it imports heavily the charcoal from Indonesia, the Shanghai, the Kobe Osaka in Japan, right? Another steel plant in Hazira steel plant, right? Because natural gas comes to Hazira, and South Africa sends coal. So these are port-based iron and steel industry, right? Okay, apart from this, if we see the other way around, we see that earlier developed areas like United States, Western Europe, and Japan were the important. United States and United Kingdom. These were and France. These were important iron and steel production centers. Later, Japan overtook United States, um, like in 1900s, and later we see in 1990s, 2000, China, Korea. These were the important centers, and now India is one of the important centers of iron and steel production, right? So this is also how we see the change in, right? If we go to next industry. Okay, before that, some of the important steel producing centers in India are Bhilai, Durgapur, Burnapur, Jamshedpur, Raurkela, Bokaro are situated in region that spreads over 4 states, right? West Bengal, Jharkhand, Odisha and Chhattisgarh. Bhadravati and Vijayanagar in Karnataka, Vishakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, Salem in Tamil Nadu are important steel producing, utilizing local resources. Okay, Jamshedpur. So there is now a case study, right? Important thing which was like the Sakchi, the name Sakchi turned into Jamshedpur. The Sakchi is near Subarnarekha and Kharkai. Okay, Sakchi turned to Jamshedpur. The Kharkai and Subarnarekha ensured sufficient water supply in Sakchi, which turned to Jamshedpur. The same goes for Pittsburgh. Yeah, favorable condition. Let's move to the cotton textile. By the way, the word textile is derived from the Latin word texere, and Latin word texere has derived from the Sanskrit word takshati. Takshati means to create or to chisel, produce, make. So takshati to textile, to text, to taxonomy, right? So that is the beautiful how we are the pioneers. The Sanskrit is the pioneer language. Okay, so we Indians must be very proud of it. All right. A very important takeaway from this was even the flax, which in Hindi we call it alsi, even that is used for making cloth. I was shocked. Yes, cotton, wool, silk, jute, flax have been used for making cloth. The textile industry can be divided on the basis of the raw material used in them. As I've already told, it can either be man-made, right? Wool, silk, cotton, linen. Yes, linen is produced from the flax. Okay? And the man-made fibers include the nylon, polyester, acrylic, and rayon, right? The cotton textile industry is one of the oldest industries in the world. We've been using this for so long, oh my god. The 18th century cotton cloth was made till the Industrial Revolution, it was made using the hand spinning techniques, wheels, and looms. In the 18th century, power looms facilitated the development of the cotton textile industries, first in Britain and later in other parts of the world. Today, India, China, Japan, and USA are the important producers of the cotton textiles. India has a glorious tradition of producing excellent quality of the cotton textile, right? The Indian hand spun, hand woven cloth already had the wide market. This is very important. So these facts comes in your prelims. The muslins of Dhaka, muslin, the the chintzes of the Patnam. Okay, now Machilipatnam. The chintzes of Patnam, the calicos of the Calicut, in Calicut, Vasco da Gama came first in 1498. Yes, the gold wrought cotton of Burhanpur and the Surat and Vadodara were known worldwide for their quality and design, but the production of the hand-woven cotton textile was expensive, time-consuming. Hence, the traditional cotton textile could not face the competition from the new textile mills of the West, which produced cheap and good quality fabrics through the merchandised industry units. The first textile mill in the country, was established at Fort Gloucester near Kolkata in 1818, but it closed down after some time. The first successful mechanized textile mill was established in textile mill was established in Kolkata, but it was not successful. So successful mechanized textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854. The warm, moist climate for importing machinery, availability of raw material and skilled labor resulted in rapid expansion of the industry in the region. Okay, and that is how Mumbai, a village, a port village, became such a large mega metropolitan city now. Okay, the initial bricks were laid in 1854 with the setting up the first successful machinized textile mill. Okay, initially this industry flourished in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat because of the favorable humid climate, but today's humidity can be created artificially, right? And raw cotton is a pure and not weight losing raw material. See how important is weight losing aspect related to the location of industry. If it is a weight losing aspect, for example the sugarcane, then industries are located near that weight losing material, right? So this industry has spread to other parts of India: Coimbatore, Kanpur, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, Ludhiana in Punjab, Puducherry, Panipat, Haryana, and some other important centers. Okay, so this was very important. The weight losing property of the raw material, it determines the location of industry. Now, if we see, there is a case study of Ahmedabad with that of Osaka. Ahmedabad is situated very close to the cotton growing area. It ensures easy availability of raw material. Climate is ideal for spinning and weaving. The flat terrain, easy availability of land is suitable for the establishment of the waves. The densely populated states of the Gujarat and Maharashtra provided both skilled and semi-skilled laborers. A well-developed road and railway network permit the easy transportation of textile to different parts of the country, thus providing easy access to the market, facility import of machinery and export of cotton textiles. Right? So that was all about the textile industry. Next we move to IT. Imagine how much could be accomplished if the companies would operate 24-hour workday. Yeah, that's a big story. What is the IT industry? The information technology industry deals in the storage, processing and distribution of information. Right? The main factors guiding the location of IT industries are the resources availability, cost and infrastructure. There is nothing like a raw material for IT industry. This is a very important aspect. Resource availability, cost and infrastructure. The major hubs of IT industries are the Silicon Valley, the California and the Bengaluru in India. Silicon Valley in California and Bengaluru. These are important. But lately, If we see, let's see the Bangalore and Silicon Valley. It's important. Bangalore is located on the Deccan Plateau, from where it gets the name Silicon Plateau. The city is known for its mild climate throughout the year. Silicon Valley is a part of Santa Clara Valley, located next to the Rocky Mountains of North America. The area has temperate climate with the temperatures rarely dropping below the 0 degree centigrade. The locational advantage of Silicon Plateau, Bengaluru, and Silicon Valley, California, are discussed on the next page. See, the similarity is first good climate, right? We'll see. See, Bengaluru has the largest number of educational institutes and IT colleges in India. City was considered dust-free with low rents and low cost of living. The state government of Karnataka was the first to announce the IT policy in 1992, and city has the largest and the widest availability of skilled managers with work experience. Right? So, largest number of educational institute. Same goes for the Silicon Valley, close to some most advanced scientific and technological centers in the world, pleasant climate with clean environment, plenty of space for development and future expansion, located to close to major roads and airports, and good access to market and skilled workforce, right? So skilled workforce, Bangalore and in Silicon Valley, close to major roads. So Bangalore is also well connected to major roads and airports, and pleasant climate for growth, and most advanced and technological centers and number of educational institutes in IT value ensures the cheap availability of the labors. Okay, very important fact. So much so that people were losing jobs in United States, that a new terminology had come, that being Bangalored. Okay, that is, your job has been taken by a person from Bangalore wala. Okay, now another important fact: why do technology industries group together? The reason is they can be located near the main road, highways, or easy access. Firm can benefit from the exchange of knowledge, and services and facilities such as the road, car, and waste disposal can be organized efficiently, right? Now, lately, emerging technological hubs in metropolitan centers of India, such as the Mumbai, New Delhi, Hyderabad, and Chennai, other cities such as the Gurugram, Pune, Trivandrum, Kochi, and Chandigarh are also important centers of IT industry. Right? So that was the end of this beautiful and really, really informative chapter. I loved reading this chapter. Right? So we started with what is the industry, right? We started with what is this manufacturing and secondary activity. We classified the industry based on the raw material, based on the size, and based on the ownership. Then we moved on to what are some of the factors which affect the location of industries, right? We studied some of the industrial regions, important industrial regions of the world, and saw that the temperate areas are important industrial regions, the seaports are important industrial regions, and the regions which are near to coal fields of the world are important regions. We saw some of the industrial disasters and some of the important industrial regions in India. We moved on to distribution of the major industries of the world. The major industries we discussed was the how iron and steel industry, it changed its location earlier from the forest area to the near the coal mine, then near the iron mine, then near the hydroelectric stations with the change in technology, and today we see they are near the seaports, right? Then we moved on to the some of the important iron and steel industry in India, producing Then we moved on how the Jamshedpur developed, right, and compared it with the Pittsburgh, right. Then we moved to cotton and textile industry. We saw the word origin of textile, and we saw how the flax is also an important ingredient which we call alsi in Hindi. It is used to produce linen, right? The other being the jute, the silk, of the wool, right? So these are some of the cotton textile. We saw how the India was a very important sector of cotton textiles from the ages. The muslins of Dhaka, the chintzes of Masolipatnam, the calicos of Calicut, not Kolkata, and Calicut, and the gold wrought cotton of Burhanpur, Surat, and Vadodara, right? We saw how earlier the Mumbai was an important center because of the warm and the moist climate owing to its proximity to the Arabian Sea. Then we saw that since cotton is a raw material which is not weight losing, and hence the industries can be spread to other areas, and as far as the humidity is concerned, humidity can be produced in the industrial region. Hence we saw that other areas of India have also started having the textile industry. For example, the Kanpur, the Ludhiana, the Panipat, right. Finally, we went to information and technology industry, where we saw the main factors guiding the location of these industry are the resources availability, the cost, and infrastructure. We compared the Silicon Valley and the Silicon Plateau, both of them having a good climate. They are proximate to the educational and the research institutes, and you know they are well connected with the airports and the major roads, right. Yeah, so that was all. Thank you.